What's up guys, welcome back for another Yugioh Pro Duel video. Next match, Cross-Banlist Cup, top 16 and knockout. We are at the top 8 stage. On the left side of the bracket, a losers bracket, so both decks already lost one match. If they lose another match, they will be out of the tournament. The matchup of today, as you probably already have seen in the title, two candidates, two big powerhouses are paired up against each other. We have Shaddolls, well, the Chaos Star Seraph Shaddolls is paired up against Synchro Undead. I believe that particular deck got like top 4 or actually second place, not really sure, in one of the previous editions of the Cross-Banlist Cup. This match is a best of 5. Again, we are in the top 4 knockout stage here on the right side, top 8 on the left side, and I think it's more interesting to make it best out of 5. So the deck that wins 3, again, will just win the whole match and will move on again in the tournament. The deck that loses will be out of the tournament. So the first list, as you see here, is of course Synchro Undead. The deck doesn't need an introduction. OCG Zombie TeleDAD, featuring card of safe return pre-errata. Same for Brionek as well, pre-errata. It's not restricted to once per turn, so you can just discard multiple cards from your hand. And again, as you probably remember, the combination, the combo with, you know, card of safe return and Mizuki, multiple burial, multiple teleport. This deck is so fast, but nope, this is OCG. So we actually not really sure if we had this one in the TCG. I don't think so. Anyway, second list we have Shaddolls, Star Seraph Shaddolls, also somewhat of a nostalgic list, a very powerful list. Again, OCG by the way, with Shockmaster, triple construct in the extra deck, but the full lineup of the Star Seraph engine, triple mathematician, so good, immediately searching out your light sworn monster, basically a searchable light target to full force go for construct. So which deck has the advantage? Well, this is a hard one. I think depends, right? Well, going first is definitely very important, but then again, if you look at the Zombie TeleDAD deck list, that deck hardly has any chance against something like Winda, so getting over Winda is definitely a big problem. I believe one of the outs is Brain Control, I guess, but even then you need a tuner as a follow-up play, right? So let's hop in and do the first duel. I get to start, he lets me start, by the way. So going first, my hand wasn't that fantastic, even though with the card of safe return in hand, but I was like, well, I could potentially go for something like Brionek, but I didn't think that was too optimal. Again, I was heavily dependent, at least heavily depending on the cards that I drew, or at least would have drawn out of the card of safe return, but it doesn't really matter that much. As you see, he's going for Shockmaster, opening with the combo of the Star Seraph engine, both stick and chair, going for Shockmaster, and he calls Monster indeed, and that completely blocks my entire deck. Again, I don't think this particular deck runs like board wipes, Raigeki Darko, I don't think so, and yeah, if I can't use any monster effects, that's basically game over. So game number 2, again, I'm forced to start. I can't deal with the first turn Winda or something like that. Well, again, my hand needs to be very specific to deal with the first turn Winda, so I have to go first. And now I do open quite optimal, especially with the card of safe return, getting those extra draws and, you know, using multiple Mizukis, and I believe I have access, or thanks to Goblin Zombie, very similar to today's format with, you know, the Link shenanigans featuring Firewall, and keep abusing your Goblin Zombie and eventually put out extra Link. This was basically the same thing, but not locking your opponent out of the duel with the extra Link, with U-Link, but with multiple draws and drawing into your back row, basically. Raigeki Break as well. Crush card is also a card that would have been okay here, but nope, no Crush. Well, then again, Crush card isn't really that fantastic against Shaddolls. Okay, they'll get their effects, but even then, you're just ripping away their boss monsters, right? BLS Dark Arm Dragon, for example, and they'll get some extra searches or draws with something like Beast if it's destroyed off of Crush card. But still, I think Crush card, free information, definitely has its uses. Construct isn't really that threatening because of Stardust Dragon. You know, Construct will always have to activate when it battles a special summoned monster, so Stardust Dragon definitely comes in use, but yeah, just use Soul Charge to eventually get back the BLS. And there is the Winda. I believe he also could have gone for, what is it called, the Earth one. You know which one I mean, the Earth Shaddolls, but not really sure if it mattered that much. Brionek just discard 4, and eventually I can attack for game. Speaking of Crush Card my opponent's hand, again get free information, see the Monster Reborn, Sinister Shadow Games, and I believe the Hedgehog as well, so we know the full information about this hand. So and again, not really sure, I think I can't play around the potential Hedgehog searching Shadow Fusion, so I don't really want to go for an extra deck summon, right, since going for Brionek you'll just use Sinister Shadow Games to eventually search out the Shadow Fusion. Then again, he's still under Crush Card, luckily. Again, the Dark Arm Dragon would have been nice, not really sure about how many Darks he has in his graveyard, and he does opt to go for a Construct, not really sure. I think he had the option to go for Winda as well. Winda, I think definitely was a superior option, the superior choice over Construct. Or, okay, you're sacrificing some damage and maybe some pluses, but still, Winda, as I mentioned before, is basically GG against this deck. Outside of maybe Brain Control or a Dark Arm Dragon that I can immediately drop to the field, might have been, at least might be immediate answers to something like Winda, just attack over it. But even then, right, so now Brionek, and let's not forget, double Burial from a different dimension again. Just use Brionek, at least again, Brionek multiple times, Mizuki multiple times, and of course, Burial, the second copy of Burial from a different dimension, multiple times as well. Same for Goblin Zombie, basically the same place, but without the draw cards or the draw shenanigans, thanks to Card of Safe Return. So no hand traps. I'm not really sure if the Shaddolls deck does run any hand traps. I don't think so, but yeah, again, he was for the Winda, definitely already could have sealed the deal for him, right? So again, putting all those beat sticks on the field and basically attack for a game. So game number 4, I think. Again, I get to start. He lets me start, so I go first, he goes second, and definitely opens up well. Normal summoning the Mathematician, forcing out a Raigeki break. I'm definitely going to pop the Mathematician, but now, finally he goes for Winda, right? And I see my hand and I was like, yeah, what can I do? I think, yeah, again, Brain Control might be an immediate out here, like stealing the Dark Arm Dragon, for example, and just attack over it, right, and then establish my own board, but still, he'll just get back the Shaddolls. I believe he used the Shaddolls Fusion, right, or else Shaddolls Fusion, but he does go for Moonrose eventually, and yeah, he'll just put OTK on board. Shaddolls Fusion for Construct. He does have Dark Arm Dragon on the field to pop my face down set. And yeah, again, I only have 3k life points left. So again, this should be, this is indeed GG well played. So again, just go first or go second and just put Winda, well, depending on the situation, right? But just put Winda on board and basically that's already GG. So last duel, again, best out of 5. I get to start and my only play here is normal summon Krabbens to potentially hold him off, but he's going to blow me away with a Construct summon first, so I was like, okay, maybe I still have a chance, but nope, he drops both boss monsters immediately to the field, both Dark Arm Dragon and BLS as well, and as quick as that, game number 5, he takes this one. So I believe this was definitely a deserved win. I think if you went for Winda much sooner, the game, at least I think this match would have ended much sooner, right? So one duel still left, but again, as I mentioned before, no filler deck profiles, just some extra duels. I think that's much more interesting. So sadly, Synchro Undead will be out of the tournament, is out of the tournament, and yeah. Shaddolls will move on here to the left side of the bracket. Next matchup, here is the extra duel, by the way, duel number 6. I let him start, by the way, see if that would have made a difference. But again, as I mentioned before, next matchup will be, let me double check, yep, indeed, should be Blue Eyes versus Invoked. Very solid match, very good match of 2 recent decks, both Invoked and Blue Eyes. So like always, feel free to leave your predictions for that particular match, right? But here, as you see, just go for the first turn win, alright. He'll gain some extra draws, some extra advantage, drawing into his boss monsters and making sure that my back row is not like a Raigeki break or something like that. And now he can just go for the fusion, go for Shaggy Naga, that's the name. Shaggy Naga, get rid of his Winda, and now he'll be able to get some multiple special summons. Go for Shockmaster again, and Scepter allows a draw and a pop at the same time. So strong, and yeah, just making sure here indeed using the shock monster effect, calling monsters, I guess, making sure no cores, and eventually he is just able to deck for game. So again, as I mentioned before, I think a well-deserved winner. Next matchup will be Invoked versus Blue Eyes, so like always, feel free to leave your predictions. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching and feel free to leave a comment or a like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.